All right, welcome back. In this video, we're going to go over the overheads and the drum bus processing on this song for this live worship album that I've been working on. This is a follow-up to the kick, snare, tom videos so far. So if you haven't seen those, probably want to go watch those first, then come back here, maybe make a little bit more sense and get some more context. So that'll be in the playlist below. Also, feel free to check out the Reaper template. So if you like kind of what I'm working off of here, the template is available in the description as well using the Slate Digital Complete Access Bundle plugins. So that's all down there. Check it out. Let's get started. So in this one, we are first going to start off. I've got the overheads soloed and all the processing that they would encounter minus the, master fader over here. All of that is off. So this is basically, minus this stuff over here. Well, sorry, you can't see it behind my lovely face here. Beside the master fader, it's all off. So here is what they sounded like raw. All right, so with this, one thing to note, if you haven't watched the other videos so far, a little context is this is a live recording, fully live, just a computer thrown up at front of house to catch whatever happened. And so there's a lot of bleed in some of the vocal mics especially, and there's, kind of bleed all over the stage. If there's a microphone, it's probably catching some overheads. So really, I was looking for a way to get some air and that kind of, just that air kind of life up in the top end from these, and no weight. That's all coming from somewhere else. We couldn't add to the noise, and so with this, I had to get fairly extreme. So let's first just turn on the processing for the overheads, and then we'll get to the mix bus. So let's see here. All right, so that's raw, and then we basically took everything out. So overheads or the infinity EQ, low cutting up to past 500, and then cutting out there around 5K as well. This stuff, that real psh. Just really trying to soften them up in that range. And just kind of get air, and there's not even a ton above it, honestly. Okay, and then on the virtual mix track, just a virtual channel here, and then this compressor. Let's see if we ended in the best place, or ended where I intended on. I like on an overhead to basically set a compressor where the snare will trigger it. A lot of times, the snare in the overhead, especially in these settings, doesn't sound all that great. Doesn't add a bunch of impact or really much valuable information. Sometimes, not always the case, but it's fairly common. So a lot of times I'll set this where it'll really just catch that transient fast and then let off fast, so it doesn't make the cymbals wash so much. It just kind of catches that initial snap and gets it out of the way. So let's see what it's actually doing. Yeah, you can kind of see it's reacting to that snare. It seems like it's one of the crash cymbals in particular, and the snare. Really just trying to get that overall level more consistent in there, because there is just a lot of stuff in the cymbals happening in this mix. And so really didn't need to get that out of hand. And so ran that through the drum room, drum verb, and then just the drum bus. So that going into these reverbs, let's see. in the context of the entire mix, I don't know how noticeable that would be in truth, but here soloed out, in this with limited context, it kind of adds a little bit of life to it, makes it sound big, makes it sound a lot bigger than it did before. And again, that's a ridiculous cut. I mean, that's a lot of stuff cut out of there, but we're getting the weight from other places. We're getting more bleed. It's just a lot of compounding stuff. So had to do what we had to do. And so now let's run through the mix bus processing here. And I'll actually just go ahead and turn all the drums back on for this. So again, let's get our bearings here. Okay, so that's the drums without any mix bus processing. So let's turn on this. So first is this SSL Fusion, the vintage. Here we go. All right. So first we'll go right here. Turn all these. All right. So we'll start off with this SSL Fusion. Brought down the output just a little bit because obviously it's getting hot. Really like this thing. Okay. So with that, it really just, I feel like it adds some impact, adds some, aggression to the overall sound. I really like that plugin a lot. It's pretty cool. So then we hop down here to the bus compressor. And I mean, the threshold's all the way up. I'm not even sure if I ended up really using it much. So we'll see. It's probably still doing something because we're running this pretty hot right now. Through the course of the videos, it seems like it's gotten a little louder. Doing a little bit. Attack at 10 milliseconds and a pretty fast release down here. 2-to-1 ratio. And then here, close this out. Let me get over here, pull it back up. So then I'm actually side chaining where we're not compressing anything below 90. And so that can really help a lot of times in these scenarios where there's a lot of low-end information, there's a lot going on down there that would trigger the compressor a lot faster than the other stuff and cause some pumping. And so, we're just basically it's not that it's cutting out low-end, but it's not listening to that to trigger the compressor. So got that going on. Then the virtual mix rack with the FG Bomber. I don't even remember the FG36A. I don't even know if it's barely doing anything. A little bit of revival, the shimmer and thickness, more top end, and that's about it on that EQ. So let me hop over here. All right, and then at the very bottom of the chain here, we're just running the SSL X limit, just kind of catching some of those peaks so I can get a little bit of the overall volume, kind of back. It's a lot of transients going on, and so just trying to catch some of those to, kind of tame it down a little bit because I added a lot of stuff on this. So, see. see really the snare is just knocking off some of that. Okay, so we added a fair amount. For the overheads, just a lot of EQ on one thing, and then a little bit of compression, and then added a lot of stuff to really try to glue this stuff together on the mix bus. So I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna turn off and on the mix bus processing, and then we'll bring in everything else so we can hear it in context. It's obviously a lot quieter, but also not quite as aggressive. And in everything else. All right, so that's where we're at this point. Next week, we will go over bass and maybe a keyboard or two to kind of get this thing moving along. I know that we still have some tracks to go, so we'll do bass and something else. We'll see when we get there. So yeah, see you guys. See you then.